Hello and welcome to Nope There's Only Trash Here podcast, episode 83. The date today is the 25th of May 2015. Woo, May has just gone past really quickly. You know, when you don't do any podcasts, when you barely record any of these things and don't discuss the news, I feel like the month just flies by.
Yes, it does. The whole year flies by, Tom.
We're not doing this again.
We're doing this.
We're not doing the time flies.
20 seconds into the podcast, we're going into it. The whole 2015, where? The
second you're born is when you start dying. We're not doing this today.
Damn, that's true, isn't it? You never,
Yep.
You're always dying. Every day.
You're always heading towards a destination, that being 6 feet under.
Damn. Welcome to the podcast,
we're not doing this.
Welcome to the podcast.
God, I mean, that's the good thing about life. There's always tomorrow.
The sun will come out tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
and unless it doesn't, and it's raining.
No, but but then the next day is a whole new day.
And then it might.
Where you got a brolly.
Ah, I see.
Be prepared. That's the real message under all this.
Isn't that the Scouts?
Is it?
Be prepared.
I know. I didn't go to Scouts.
I don't know. I can't remember. Neither did I.
Scouts seemed lame, right?
I tried it once, and I just didn't like any of the kids there.
Well, so if some of your friends went, you would have been, old Scouty Joe, like, oh, come on, Ops.
I had all the badges, but no.
See, I'm sure you got some important life skills from the Scouts. But I knew a few people who went to Scouts, and they didn't seem lame, but what you did sounded kind of lame. Like you tie knots, might go to a wood. You gotta wear, the uniform. Anything that comes with a uniform can't be cool.
What about a superhero?
Well, that's not really a uniform.
Well,
that's
then
more
where is the line
outfit,
between costume? Where is the line, Tom? Where is the line?
What, between uniform and costume?
Yeah.
Well, a uniform is something that a group of people wear to represent their group. Or an outfit is just something that someone decided to wear.
But what if you stylized your? What would they wear? What do they wear in the Scouts? I don't know. What if you tied your thing differently? Then it's a costume.
No. Then it's an outfit that you've. No.
No, then it's a costume.
No, it's
no
a
one
uniform.
else is wearing it like that.
Yeah, but at school, everyone tied their jumpers. It was still a uniform.
And peanutted as well.
Peanutted?
Yeah. Is it a peanut?
Well, I've heard of peanuts and other nuts.
Yeah. Peanut is when you yanked someone's tie.
Oh, God.
And it would make a peanut as the knot, and it'd be really annoying to untie.
Oh, you yank it at the front. I was thinking you grab it from the back and just choke them a little bit.
Oh, no. Yeah, you put it from the front.
That makes more sense.
We weren't savages now. I never did it, by the way. I was a good little boy.
So you were the guy that people did it to, though?
Yeah.
Oh, Joe.
Sometimes.
Come on, Joe.
There was also a nasty habit of using sporks as well.
Sporks?
Yeah, what... I've mentioned this before. I've mentioned this story before, and I'm not going to bring it up again. Because it makes my school sound horrible.
Story.
So, in the canteen, there would be plastic sporks. Yeah?
Yeah.
And what people would do is snap off the middle two prongs of the spork, and then it makes for a good stabbing thing. Because it always snapped before it actually stabbed you, so it would just kind of hurt, but it wouldn't actually stab. Because of the way that, I don't know, the spork now had a different type of balance, or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I've brought this up before, and it makes me sound like I've come from this bloody school full of thugs. But no, it was just the thing. I think
Wait,
that happened.
So people were stabbing each other with these sporks?
Yeah, usually in the thigh.
Ah, right.
You got a lot of mass there, so you can take it in the thigh.
See, I think that's where the line is. Somebody, another kid hitting another kid. That's well, it's not great, but it's okay, whatever. But the psycho stuff comes more in the creativity
Yes.
Because if you want to hurt someone, you can just go up to them and hurt them. It's not hard. It's just on a moral sense you don't do it. But if you then come up with like a creative way of kind of getting away with it and making it hurt more, then it's like, well, that's not cool. That's not right.
Exactly. There's another thing where you get an elastic band and do like a sort of mini cat's cradle thing between two fingers, and then you could ping it back on someone's leg.
Like, yeah, that's a classic.
Yeah, yeah, that was horrible as well.
Yeah, then I do remember that actually. Nothing they could do, run up to, hey, it's all just games and fun.
Yeah, so all a bit of larking about until someone starts crying.
Yeah, well.
I only did it a couple times.
You only cried a couple
I
times.
only cried a few times.
I'm not, it's fine.
Yeah. What were you talking about? Death.
I don't know.
That's right, death.
Death.
Yes, and how the year
It all started with the rubber bands.
How the year has just flown by.
I don't think it has, really. I guess it kind of has. Maybe I haven't really thought about it.
You should.
Just been doing stuff. No time for pondering about big questions. I've got a review of Ty the Tasmanian Tiger to make. Enough of your bloody is there a god nonsense.
Hey?
I don't know. I've just felt like that's where we were going.
Is there a god nonsense?
Yeah, you know, when it comes about life and death, that's usually how it goes.
God has got nothing to do with that. It's just dying.
Oh. Oh dear.
And there goes whatever listeners we had.
See, I've got a custard cream, or a load of custard creams next to me, but I think they would just taste sour if I ate one now.
I have them.
Yeah?
Yeah. Have you seen they do the tubs of... If anyone can't tell, there's not much news. If you've seen those tubs of custard cream filling, it's just a filling of custard creams in Tesco.
That sounds really sickly.
It does. I haven't tried it, but I do want to.
Wait, so what do you do with that? Do you go home and... Is that a sandwich thing?
No, I'd imagine it maybe... Oh, I don't know. I was going to say toast, but that won't work at all. Why do you toast? Well, they do have Nutella on toast.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You do have chocolate spread, so maybe. But the thing with a custard cream is that it comes with the other biscuit stuff. Nobody's baking their own little custard cream bases. That doesn't happen.
This is one time where the serving suggestion on the packaging is needed.
Yeah, a diagram, please.
Yeah, I mean, how? Maybe they give some recipes about. Maybe make like a custard cream cake.
That could work.
That could work, because that would be like the butter icing. Done.
Well, I'm glad we sorted that, but
Sorted.
I don't think we have. Wouldn't you just have buttercream? Like, what makes the custard cream filling so goddamn special that you need it separately?
Because it has a particular taste.
Yeah, but it has that taste because it's part of the custard cream. I mean, I don't open up my custard creams anymore. Haven't done it for years. So maybe this is for those people who still do.
Yeah, what kind of monster are you then? Do you do it to bourbons?
Not anymore, no. I like a nice complete bourbon.
See, I do it to bourbons. I don't do it to Oreos. I don't get that whole marketing thing.
Well, Oreos, it's a bit too easy, isn't it? There's no thrill of the chase.
Twist
because
it,
you're supposed
lick it,
to.
dunk it, whatever it is. I don't care. Just eat it.
But you say you open up bourbons, though.
Bourbons because they're the cheap, weird brother of Oreos, right?
Right.
They're the one that no one really cares about, but if you have it left, you'll eat it. And so I feel like you need to get more out of a bourbon.
You know, this sounds very oppressive. Like, with the rich, you enjoy them, and you don't do that. But with the poor biscuits, you rip them apart. You treat them like the scum they are. There's an elitism right here with your biscuit choices.
Yeah. I don't consider myself a biscuit elitist, but
Sure.
I have been trying fancier and fancier biscuits. I think I need to go back down to the standard at some point.
Yeah, you got to get a bag of biscuits, if you know what I mean.
Oh, what, the broken ones?
Yep.
No, they're bad because they have a taste. It's
They do.
It's that mixture of taste, and it's horrible.
Yeah, it's similar how if you get ice cream and mix it all together, you always get the exact same taste.
Yeah.
It's like that bag of biscuit is the same but for biscuits. And you know what? It's not quite as delicious when
It's not.
they all taste the same and they're all just crumbly and just gross.
It's like your grand's biscuit tin that's like years old and it's got all these foisty biscuits in it. Foisty, that's the word.
See, you don't want to go to your grand's and she's like, do you want a biscuit? And she just gets a bag out, just this plastic bag, and just, dig in. You don't want that to happen. You want a nice little tin, and you hope that it's a fresh supply of biscuits. As long as they're the right colour, you're golden.
And people who classify penguin bars as biscuits, they're the best.
They're the best?
Yeah. Yeah. Because they're not, they're chocolate bars, but some people consider them biscuits, and they put them in biscuit tins.
Yes.
I mean, they're the ones with money to throw, haven't they? They just
you got
around.
you got the risk of the penguin melting, though.
Well, you don't keep penguin bars in the fridge, though, do you?
Yeah.
What?
I keep penguin bars in the fridge.
Here we go. Do you put Chewits in the fridge?
No.
Right, good.
Chewits are meant to be chewy, so you don't want them cold. But a penguin bar is a chocolate thing. You keep chocolate in the fridge.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you do.
Look on the back of the thing. It will say keep in a cool, dry place, not the fridge.
Like a fridge.
Fridge isn't cool.
They're pretty cool. Fridge is still cool.
I think we're going to have to agree to disagree on this. It's like whether you keep eggs in the fridge or the cupboard.
I don't really buy eggs, so whatever you say, I'll agree.
I don't. Well, we usually put them in the fridge, but now I'm questioning our life.
This is where the death thing come from.
Yeah.
Are these eggs that could become life really going to die for me, and I'm just going to put them in the fridge? Is that right?
Am I sinning by putting them in the fridge?
I think so.
I think so too. Apparently, that the temperature, the cold, makes the egg weaker. The shell weaker, which is bad.
Oh.
So they're more likely to break, or I don't know.
Oh, okay.
To all those listening, eggs should go in the cupboard, apparently.
Well, you keep them in the fridge, so...
Yeah, I know. I haven't converted yet. Maybe someday.
You know what? There's been some video game stuff. I'm sorry that I've got to cut this off. I was seeing how long we could go talking about food. And it's not even like we're talking about nice, delicious food.
We can talk about nice, delicious food.
No.
Although I haven't really eaten much nice, delicious food, to be honest.
Me too.
No, so I've got nothing.
See, yeah, so I think I'm going to have to draw a line.
Yeah, go on.
Say we had our fun.
Yeah.
We took it as far as it could go. But no more food talk, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Although, speaking of food, I feel like an apology is in order because of your last stream. So I want you to apologise for not being able to take a joke. So, all is this guy.
What?
About the food thing in the stream.
You lost me.
The stream you did.
Yeah.
About the pizza.
Pizza? What did I say about the pizza? Oh.
No.
Oh.
Do you remember?
I said something about deep pan and crispy, didn't I?
No. Well, it seems like you've forgotten, which is wonderful news, so we can all just move on with our lives.
Do you owe me some pizza?
No, I ate all the pizza. That's all gone.
Did I insult Italians?
No, but I like the idea that I could have said yes there, and you would have been like, well, people say I'm a racist all the time.
Remember Racist Joe? Yeah.
There we go. You got to take it with a pinch of salt. It's all good times.
What is it about the pizza?
That's fine, you'll figure it out. So gaming news is the topic of today. So what about that Witcher? That's a big hit.
Don't even get started. Don't go there.
What about the Witcher?
I got nothing.
You got nothing. I think it's interesting.
No.
Okay, I have one thing to know about the Witcher. Well, two. First of all, I would like to play it because it looks like Fable, but if it didn't just like die if Fable just got good and stayed good, then it probably would be The Witcher. But the second thing is that I think that game and how popular it has been really shows how most AAA games have been a disappointment. Like, because you got the free consoles, and the first party games have been either just ports or nothing special. So people haven't really been able to get excited about those when they come out. Or just broken when they launch. That's the other option. And then with a lot of games that got hyped out, were also just kind of disappointments. So when a game comes out, so there's a whole group of people who got PS4s pretty much purely on the fact of they wanted a new console, and now no games have come out. So whenever a game actually comes out and is good, it generates excitement, even though the other Witcher games didn't do that well. So I think the fact that The Witcher 3 is doing as well as it's doing kind of shows how there's this big drought and how the console gamers are there, but they're just a bit starved for actual good games. But The Witcher is meant to be good, so I guess that's okay for now. But yeah, I think that's where this success is coming from.
So it might not possibly be as good as some people say.
No, I think it is as good as people say, but then at the same time, Witcher 1 and Witcher 2 were meant to be really good, and they weren't big hits, you know? They were just kind of another game in the AAA sea back on the 360 and PS3, because I think Witcher 2 came out 2010, 2011, and at that point, the market was flooded with great AAA games. And now we're at this point where there's still the same amount of AAA games, but most of them are just average. Like all the Sony ones, you got Drive Club that had a horrible launch, you got The Order that wasn't very good. The other games are like ports, like The Last of Us and GTA. Then you got Xbox, where the Master Chief is essentially a port, and it had a horrible launch. Sunset Overdrive wasn't anything special. Like the biggest game on that is GTA. So there's just not that much there. So when a good game does come along, when it's just a fact of it is a good game, that seems to be all it really needs to be successful, which in a way is good. Like, that's good that a game is doing well because it's good and based on that fact alone. But it is also based on the fact that there's just not many games. So when a good one comes out and it does well and good reviews, then people swarm to it because, like, 4 years ago, there were so many AAA games you couldn't keep up. But now it's just a case of they trickle in these actual good AAA games. They're trickling in for us to play.
Right, okay. So in a way, the bar has been lowered. What bar? I'm not going to say.
Just don't keep it in the fridge.
That doesn't make any sense in this situation.
Well, no, not really, but...
What I mean by that, not bar in terms of, not necessarily quality, but gamers' own bar of what they will praise.
Yes. In a way.
I didn't word that the best, but I think you get what I mean, right?
Yeah. So people will just seek out what is good rather than having this expectation of the next big thing. I think that's what you're saying.
Let's say yes.
Way! There we go.
Yes.
But that's the only thing that kind of grabs me about The Witcher. That it's good because it's a good game, so people like it. Hooray! But then it's like, if we do hit this same wave of just AAA games, then we're going to see games like this also kind of get ignored at the same time. But
why ignored?
Well, because once there's a ton of AAA games coming out and they're all actually pretty good, then of course some of them are just going to go under the radar. Like I would argue the original Witcher games did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I
I have nothing. Witcher, I've never really... it just looks like any other of those types of games.
Well, you got a PS4, right? Like...
I have.
Your next game is Batman, right?
It definitely is going to be now, yeah.
So I think you could say that with The Witcher 3, this is when it's all going to pick up. When we're going to hit a similar point. Because you got The Witcher 3, that was just meant to be great. And then Project Cars also came out, that did well critically. I don't think it was a big hit, so I won't count that one. But you got The Witcher 3, then you got Batman in the summer, and then we hit the holiday season, where of course we got Star Wars Battlefront, which could go either way, but I'm feeling optimistic about it. And then a few others that I'm kind of forgetting. But yeah, I think we are hitting that point where we're just going to start getting this stream of really good games again, because we just haven't had it so far.
No, how many years into the generation?
2013, so about a year and a half. 2.5 years for the Wii U.
Well, no, are you counting the Wii U in that?
Well, it is part of this generation.
No, but are you counting it as in it's not had a constant stream of AAA games?
Oh, well, the Wii U is a bit different because the PS4 and Xbox One have had this stream of games, but most of them have just been busts. The Wii U has had less games, but more good games.
Yeah.
So out of every, 3 Wii U games that have come out, one of them has been great. That's kind of guaranteed. So you're pretty much guaranteed about 3 to 5 good Wii U games, with some of those being great and really awesome. That's pretty much been a guarantee since it came out, because Nintendo has been really awesome with support for the system. It's just overall there's been less games, but there's just been more. There hasn't been The Order, where The Order was hyped up, it came out, it was really average and just wasn't what people wanted, and just wasted a good idea and was just not very good at all. There's been none of that for the Wii U. The games that haven't done as well, Kirby came out recently, and yeah, apparently it's not amazing, but you don't, it's Kirby, it's a little pink blob, you draw some lines, it's all a good time. You don't expect it to be. So I don't think there's been any disappointments with the Wii U, where the PS4 and the Xbox One have had many disappointments and just oof, what happened here? That has happened a lot on those systems.
Okay. Yeah. I was trying to come up with a quote there, but I can't think of it.
Oh, good.
It was. I think I said that before in a previous podcast as well. I'm really bad with quotes, but yeah, something about how it would be generally along the line of Nintendo less games, but then a stronger chance of them being good.
Yes, I would say so.
Yes.
But then it comes up with the trade-off, do you like Nintendo games? If the answer is yes, then the Wii U has had a better library.
I can't bear them.
Well,
I hate them all.
Well, then, it's not for you, I'm afraid. You can stick with your bloody Drive Club and your stinking Forza. Yeah.
Don't get started on those.
Well, the Forzas, yeah.
Bloody those crap.
You feeling alright today, Joe?
No, I'm not.
Why? Why is that?
I don't know. Racing games, they rile me up. They do.
Okay, which racing games didn't you get riled up by? Back in the day, of course.
Let's see. Basically, all of the simulation ones.
That's very vague.
Unless you purposely play them to mess around in.
Okay, what era are we talking about? PS1? PS2?
I'm talking about Xbox 360 and stuff.
Xbox 360? Whoa, I thought you were going to be like, Gran Turismo 1 was the best one, but no, you're just going back to
No, my friend played Forza. He's like, oh yeah, you should play Forza with me. So, I played it, and it's boring. I'm not a car fanatic. I don't like following the line and kissing the apex or whatever the hell that thing is, that phrase. What I like doing was stopping in the middle of the racetrack and then bashing into the cars.
Well, yeah, you can do that with Forza.
Huh?
Well, I used to do it because Forza 3 is the best one. So we used to play that a lot on the 360, and there's this one course which has a really long straight. About half the course is the straight, and then you have another bit. So what we would do is that one guy would go ahead, go to the end, one guy would stay behind, and then just go as fast as you can down the straight and meet in the middle. And just
Well, like
smash
jousting.
into each other. Yeah. And the thing is, because the car damage was on, it meant that you would smash into each other, both get like... Your car would be in a horrendous state, and you would just slowly turn around, go back to like each end again. One person would have like their steering messed up, so they veer left or right, so they have to like try and stay in the middle. And the second one was always fun because you were both already damaged. And then it's even worse to the point where you barely can move. No, you can totally do that. Or on the 360 and Forza, you could.
Yeah, that's what we did. Well, not that, but we definitely mess around. Didn't like playing it seriously though. I feel like I'd like it if I had the proper steering wheel and things like that.
Maybe. I'm not too sure how much that would really add. Because I'm just trying to think. When somebody has the steering wheel, they have like the proper setup, right? Like the proper sound system, the big TV, so they're really immersed. But I think if you had all that stuff and not the wheel, you would still get really into it. I don't think you necessarily need it.
I want a seat that moves, like like it's one of those like a roller coaster thing.
Haunted, yeah.
Yeah. I'll go get Derek a core and you can.
Well, I mean that would be good, I guess, but I don't know. I don't drive, so I would feel like if I had an actual steering wheel, I would just be awful at actually trying to steer around corners. I know it's not 100% realistic, but that's still adding another step to realism. And because I can't actually drive, it's not one I want to take.
Well, that's why in general we just stick to all the Mario Kart stuff. Crash stuff. What was that one
Mario
that you
Kart.
like? Snowball
Kids.
Snowball Kids.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Yeah, that's a great game.
Yeah.
Man, so good. But yes, so... Hold on, so what driving games have you played that you didn't like?
Most
recently?
of those ones. Forza, I don't like.
Wait, so I thought you said you messed around with Forza.
I did because I didn't like playing it normally.
But that's still enjoying the game.
Is it? Okay, well fine. I don't mind all of them then.
Yeah.
But I just there's a certain point where you try and play seriously, then you give up because you suck. I suck, and then I get annoyed.
Yeah,
Same thing with FIFA.
Yeah, I think racing games are the most frustrating games. I think just outright. Like, of course, you got like first-person shooters online that can get very intense. You can get really into them, and that can cause high emotions, especially with stuff like Call of Duty, where it's very stop and start, very quick. But racing games, I think that's the worst one. To miss a corner, to get spun out when you're really into a race. I think racing games is number one for most frustrating games.
Does Mario Kart include in that?
I think you could throw it in. I mean, personally, I don't find Mario Kart that frustrating. Sometimes it can be high energy, sure, but I get more frustrated at realistic races than Mario Kart.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Cool. Right, so the next thing I wanted to talk about is that there was a Gears of War leak. Did you hear about this one?
No.
Are you joking? I don't know.
No. I said that in the manner as if because I haven't played any Gears. Was it Gears of War?
Yeah.
Or did you say Metal Gear Solid? I mixed up the Gears.
What?
I just heard Gear.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, why would... What? No, it was Gears of War. But
was this a leak or an actual leak?
What?
Things are leaked purposely now. Like the pilot of Supergirl was leaked properly.
No, this is an actual leak. So... but yeah, that's the thing I wanted to talk about, the leak. So pretty much what happened is that there's these play tests that go on, or closed betas that go on. And, usually with closed betas, you think about it more with PC games and Steam games. But they do go on for console gaming as well, where you can sign up to a closed beta and, do all that. and it's something that's become more popular in years. And there was one for Gears of War, like I can't remember exactly what it was called, probably like the Marcus Phoenix collection or something like that, where basically somebody was playtesting it and they took a picture of it on their phone and then they Snapchatted it to a mate and then the mate uploaded it online and then that's how it got leaked.
Damn Snapchat.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But it's just like this sort of thing really frustrates me because I signed an NDA to do what I do. So when other people break it, it's just like, ugh. Because it's something I think I talked about before where it's neediness. It's such this neediness thing where you get given to do something really awesome. That's really awesome if you get to sign up for a Gears of War closed beta. Because I think this person was probably also paid to test it. It wasn't just, oh, here's a code sort of thing. I think that person must have been paid. So they got paid to test Gears of War before it was even announced or anything. And instead of just, you get told, that person would have been told, hey, that you got to keep this to yourself. You can't leak this or anything. But it's just like, he just was stupid. And there's just people all over the place. Like you had the Game of Thrones leak, where the first 4 episodes just kind of went up. And we got all these leaks going up everywhere. But it just comes from these like sad people who just want to be needy. And just are like, here's the thing, I've given everyone the thing, isn't this great? And it's like, no. And the problem is, and the major problem about this society and whatever, is that everyone rewards that person for stealing, essentially. Like, I know with piracy, it's made stealing on the internet seem a lot or not as bad and a lot more kind of accepted, but it still ultimately is stealing. And when you try and take something from a company and put it out there, you're stealing it. That's not... And the thing is, because it's such a us versus them when it comes to major companies, people are totally okay with it. And these leaks get so many, views and everyone kind of loves it. But people shouldn't. So this is what I'm saying today to the people of the internet. When something gets leaked, don't reward it by checking it out, by being like, yeah, awesome, by sharing it. Just ignore it. Because you can't have people leak stuff like this. Like, how awesome would that have been for people who love Gears of War to have that moment where... Because in E3, I'm assuming they're going to officially announce it, but how awesome would that have been where you're watching the E3 press conference and then they show the trailer and you're like, oh my god, they're remaking Gears of War, this is going to be awesome, that looks great. But instead, you don't get that moment. People think that they don't want that moment and they're happy to rob themselves of that moment of surprise by just having this, reading an article on the internet and seeing a blurry screenshot. People think they want that, but they don't. They shouldn't. That's what they think. They want information straight away, but it's much more better in the long run if you just let a company market it properly, because then you can really have that awesome moment of the big reveal. It can be like a more communal thing because everybody's talking about it, and it's also been officially revealed, so you got more to talk about. But instead, people just reward this whole culture of stealing and just piracy or whatever. So like with the Game of Thrones thing, everybody just watched the first 4 episodes because they thought, oh, more Game of Thrones, I'll just kind of watch it. But really, watching it week by week, you got that anticipation each week, you got something to look forward to, you can enjoy it more. You don't just binge watch it the whole time. And then people had to wait like 4 weeks for a new episode. It's like, why would you do that to yourselves? Like, don't do that to yourselves. Just enjoy something. Just let it come to you and just enjoy it when it happens. Don't seek it out. And don't let people steal stuff so you can be like, oh, I can watch straight away. Blah, blah, blah. It's not okay. And I'm kind of sick of it. Like, and the more older I become, the more sick of it I also become, where I just don't want to see this anymore. And I really hope these leaks stop, because it's just sad. I just think it's sad at the end of the day. And I know they won't, but one day we can build a perfect world, Joe. One day we can do it.
Nah.
What do you mean no?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, come on, man.
I want to clarify something within your soapbox speech there.
Sure.
Who are you addressing? Who are you moaning to?
Okay, yeah, it got a little messy.
The people who leak or the people who watch the leaks? Or
I'm
both?
moaning at both of them. But the problem is that you would think, oh, it's the person that leaks it is the problem. But when a person that leaks it is then rewarded for it by getting attention, that's also a problem. So both, really. But then it's kind of like how when something like a pop musician or a bad film becomes popular, people then get really annoyed at the person who made it. But that's really quite backwards, because it became popular because people liked it and responded to it. You can't be annoyed at, well, let's do the obvious example. You can't be annoyed at Michael Bay for making Transformers. He made the film he wanted to make, and the studio made the film they wanted to make or whatever, and they put it out there. You got to be annoyed at everyone who saw it. And it's the same with YouTube, it's the same with music, it's the same as everything. People give what they want, what they like, and also what they hate, they give it attention. And when it gets attention, then it gets popular, and then it's out there. But if you just leave it, if nobody liked it, or if the people who dislike it leave it alone, then you don't give it attention, and then it kind of goes away. But people don't seem to kind of understand that. Instead, they'll just go online and be like, Michael Bay can't even make one of the films. But everyone goes to see it. Like, the reason why you know that the film is bad is because you saw the film knowing it would be bad. So you can't be annoyed. Like, that's not okay. And I know it sounds weird, like, oh, you're not allowed to like or you're not allowed to dislike a film, but you can dislike a film, but when you're spreading the film by watching it and then talking about it with people, like, you are spreading that in a very odd way. And it doesn't always work out like that. Like, sometimes word of mouth will collapse a film or, a musician or whatever, but still, people just can't seem to leave stuff alone. I've also gone into another point by rambling, and I apologise.
What you're going into is what I would describe as the reverse Streisand effect.
Barbra Streisand.
Barbra Streisand.
I know the one.
Yeah, so you know the Streisand effect?
No.
Okay. It stems from, I think it was some drone, this is back in the early 2000s, but some photography thing. Guy was taking pictures of a coastline in LA or wherever, and one of the photos he took happened to be of Barbra Streisand's house, and she was not pleased with this. So this guy, he had these photos. Again, it was for the coast. It was nothing to do with her house. It was nature, and so he had these on his website. They had maybe, I think it was seen about 2 or 3 times, and then her lawyers got in touch and said, take down the photo. She doesn't like having her house photographed like that. She doesn't want it to be known to the public. What did that do? That made everyone go and look at that photo, and then it blew up, and so it's downloaded thousands of times, and it's now, you never get that off the internet. The same thing with Beyonce at the Super Bowl. That that photo of her, one where she's like caught in the middle of a dance move, and it's unflattering. We'll say, unflattering angle of Beyonce, and so her people said, don't use that. Can we take that off the internet, please? And you should never say that, because that does not work. And so it's the reverse Streisand effect, where really what you should be doing is giving it no effect, no attention, and it won't have that effect. Yeah,
pretty much. Just if you this is deviated to a completely different point, but yeah, if you don't like something and you think it's bad, it's not that you're not allowed to talk about it. It's just when you kind of discuss it on the internet and put it out there and whatever, you are adding to it, whether you like it or not. So if you don't want to see a Transformers 5 or whatever, sticking with that example, then just don't go see Transformers 4, or don't buy the DVD, don't watch it in any sort of capacity, just completely leave it alone. And then if people still go and watch it who aren't you, and it's still popular, then that's not annoying, because you shouldn't be that petty that something even being made that you don't like should really annoy you that much. And again, you can still dislike it. You don't have to like it. I'm not saying you should be tolerant of everything you don't like, but just leave it alone. Just let it be.
You know what? This is funny because I not long ago, as in a few hours ago, recorded an episode of Krusty's Funhouse, and so I was rambling about the Simpsons as I tend to do, and I said exactly that thing about, in my case, and I'm sure in your case as well. We're not fans of the newer episodes.
Nope.
I know they're not the same quality. I don't think they're as good. You probably don't think they're as good.
Nope.
And for that reason, don't watch them. We don't watch them. But I will never say that's a reason why the show should be cancelled, because there's still, I think the rough number is about 3 million. There's still 3 million people who watch it in America every time it's on. And so, should it be cancelled because I don't like it? No. What am I going to do? I'm just not going to watch it.
Yeah, it's that simple. If you don't watch something, if you don't support it in any sort of way, it goes away, and that's it. And that's the really cool thing about entertainment and how it works, is that what people support is what stays around. And you can say that doesn't always happen. It's like, oh, well, why did Firefly go off the air? Well, it went off the air because nobody watched it. Like, that's what happened. Just because there's a focal fan base on the internet doesn't mean that there's enough for you to justify the show going on. And it's just the same with other shows that are popular, like, or shows that probably maybe should go away. They don't go away because people still watch it. It still makes money. But the reason why it makes money, you can blame the businesses for being money hungry, but it makes money because of people, because people support it. So it's just something I've thought about for a while, where it all comes down to people supporting it. Whether the company is evil, whether the show creators are bad, or whatever they're just terrible at what they do, it all comes down to people supporting it. And when that breaks down and goes away, everything else goes away. And it's a very simple process. Very Darwinian, if you want to go that route.
Ooh, fancy.
I know, right? But it really is. It's survival of the fittest when it comes to entertainment. And if the numbers aren't there, then that's it. So all you can do is vote by watching shows you do like. Because you don't have to, if you're not going to watch The Simpsons, you don't have to stare blank at a wall. You just go support something you do like.
But I love that wall.
I mean, it's a great wall. Maybe your wall deserves more viewers, but that's a whole other thing.
So, in general, more wonderful advice from this podcast.
Woo!
Like the things you like, ignore the things you don't.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
It's that simple.
I feel we should get some sort of... I feel like we should go on tour with that. Like do those, what are they called? TED Talks. Are they called TED Talks?
TED Talks?
Is it TED? You know, those like sort of fancy PowerPoint presentations they do.
Oh, right. Yeah, I know the ones. We get
go
microphones on our face. Just, hey, guys, how's it going?
We go and we talk about that, and it's really motivating and aspirational, and we get money.
Who wants to be happy forever? Woo!
I see. You're already getting... Yeah, it's good.
Buy our book.
Yes. Buy our DVD.
Or we'll get you.
Okay, right. Well... I had to turn to that, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
We'll get you.
Okay.
What does that even mean?
Oh, they know what it means. We don't have to explain it because they've already figured it out and they're buying some books.
Okay, good.
I mean, the bad thing there could be that we go on stage and say, right, if you like it, you stick around. If you don't, you just leave, and everyone would just leave us.
And that's when we lock the doors.
Yep. Then we're like,
release
wait,
the gas. Right.
We'll get him. Get him good.
Get him.
Get him. It was him. Let's get him, boys. But then that would be a paradox, though. If people didn't like it and they left and didn't support it, then that meant what we were saying was right, but they didn't support it, so it wasn't right. But because they didn't support it, we were right, but then we weren't right because it wasn't supported by the people. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, don't ruin this. All right.
Well, what I'm saying is that we're guaranteed success because what we're saying is correct.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. Yeah. All right. Say that.
Some of that moolah.
Mm. Well, apparently it does cost quite a bit to go to those talks. So
Oh,
yeah, they're quite money hungry. Those people
yes.
would fit right in.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so next thing for gaming, very quick one. Ratchet and Clank got delayed.
Yes, it did.
So it was
should
meant
just
to
be
come
it.
out.
That
Yeah.
should be the whole part. Yes, it did. Moving
Yes.
on. Yes.
I agree. Absolutely.
No, go on. I'm sorry.
But yeah, what happened is that it was meant to be coming out this year, but because the film is coming out next year, they want to release it at the same time, so the game got delayed. Not because it wasn't going to be finished, but to match up with the film.
I'm not terribly annoyed by that.
It's going to be really good though.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think if you want it to do well, it does make more sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, you definitely understand it. It's not crazy. Although it's a very unique situation that this Ratchet and Clank game and film is in, where they decide to do a movie of the first game, and then they also remake the first game that the film is going to be based off at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, that's a very interesting idea, and I hope it pulls off, because I think it sounds awesome, but I don't know why it hasn't been done before.
Because
Ooh.
people haven't listened to what we just said.
Oh, right.
Although it is kind of happening with I realised there's a Mad Max game. Did
Yeah.
you see there's a Mad Max game?
Oh, yeah, they've been talking about it forever.
But it's not coming out yet.
Apparently not, no.
September, I think it is.
Yep.
Huh. Maybe it's to get away from that idea that all tie-in games suck.
What, the Ratchet and Clank or the Mad Max?
Mad Max.
Maybe. I mean, I think something I read is that the director of the Max, who's crazy.
George Miller.
Yeah, he always wanted to do a game alongside a new film.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it just kind of worked out where, with all the production problems with the film, and I'm assuming there were probably problems with the game, that everything just kind of got delayed and pushed back. So I think it's just the way it all, came to.
Right, okay.
That Mad Max was ready for the summer, but the game wouldn't be ready, so they just release it later. Along with the DVD or something, I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think I remember reading something about that, where there were some games back in the day that were released at the same time as the DVD rather than the film coming out in cinemas.
That kind of makes sense too. Yeah, because you go by the film. Oh, there's the game as well. Let's try that.
Well, it makes sense because people already saw the film and are fans of the film. I don't know how it did. I guess people must have done, but with film games, did people really go into the cinema, say that was awesome, and then pop to HMV or Game and pick up the game because they liked the film? I don't think it ever worked quite that neatly. Or I can't think of a time where that happened so neatly for me.
So what did happen then?
Well, I mean, the big one was obviously Spider-Man 2, but I'm pretty sure I played the game first.
Okay.
Because I heard I was into Spider-Man as a wee lad, and I did remember liking Spider-Man 2 the film, but I don't think I saw it in the cinema. I think I saw it on DVD when it eventually came out. But because I heard Spider-Man 2 the game was really good, I got that. And I played that a lot.
So the film had no impact on the game for you?
No. And any other tie-in games were I just happened to have them. I didn't intentionally go out and buy them. I had Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, and Return of the King because I knew they were good. But I didn't see the film and then go get the game because I liked the film so much.
There's probably some psychological study done about brains.
Oh, right. There probably is. I mean, I can't argue with that statement.
About how you remember stuff and how that will affect shopping.
Yeah, I'm sure it probably is more... that process happens, but just in like maybe a week, 2-week scale.
It needs to simmer for a bit.
Yeah.
Just let it simmer.
But I don't know. I just think that's weird. Like, I understand the appeal of film tie-ins, and I've definitely played those sort of games and enjoyed it because the fact that they're a tie-in. It's never been direct, and that seems odd. It feels like there should have been a direct time when I loved the film, so I got the game shortly after.
Well, now is your opportunity. So you can walk out of the cinema, you'd be like, yeah, that's great. And you just walk straight. There's a game shop literally the other side of the cinema. You go from one door to the other. That's how I picture you.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to do that.
You're like, yeah, that's really good. Cha-ching, got the game.
Oh, yeah. What an expensive day.
Yeah, that will be, especially if you have popcorn and stuff.
Oh, well. Small for me, please.
Really?
Nah. Well, I don't go for popcorn anyway.
No, good.
I think it's weird that there's food in a cinema. I don't think it comes from the whole, people like to eat at the cinema. It just comes from that's how the cinema makes their money.
Absolutely. Think of how cheap popcorn is. It's pence. And they mark it up so high. Yeah, that's how they make all the money.
Yeah, they make their money because all the money from the films go to the studios. The cinemas don't make that money, so they have to make it somehow. But really, like, if they didn't do that, nobody would be like, man, I wish I had some nachos right about now.
Yeah, I never understood that. Even when I would go to the cinema with a group of friends and they'd all... I mean, we never get popcorn because we're all cheapskates. So we'd all go to a supermarket and get some sweets there.
Woolies.
Yeah, Woolies or Sainsbury's or whatever. Or even Poundland as well, actually. I would never... I'd eat a few. I'd like nibble on through the adverts maybe, but once the film started, that's it. I'm done. I don't feel the need to eat. And I don't think many people... You're right. I don't think many people actually would. It's just, it's there, so I will.
Yeah,
it's kind of ingrained into the cinema culture, isn't it? It's like, oh, let's go have some snacks and let's all go to the lobby.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think the cinemas have forced it so much where it's ingrained in doing that. Although at home, you also might put on a film and eat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'd probably do that. I would eat at home because there's no one else you have to care about. You can pause. You can go make yourself bowl popcorn or whatever. Yeah, I can definitely understand.
Constant stream of popcorn as you're watching a DVD.
I just need like a big funnel into my mouth of popcorn. It's just
free refills for your drink. That's always a plus.
Yeah. It's great.
As you run out, then you got to make a run to the shops.
Yeah. See, even then, I think I'd stop. No need for movement.
No need for it at all. But I know there was because what I used to do when I was a teenage lad is that we would go and get the bus, go to the cinema, and make a day of it. But there was a Subway right next to the cinema, so there was a couple of times where we would go into Subway, buy our Subways, and then go straight into the film. So there has been times when I've enjoyed a meatball sub while watching a film in the cinema.
See, that's... I should be annoyed at that. I should be annoyed because I've just said, you shouldn't really eat in the cinema. It's annoying, it's noisy, don't need for it. And yet, just for the sheer sort of confidence of, I'm going to take the Subway in. My friend did it with fish and chips. I'm not kidding.
Oh, God.
He took a whole bag of fish and chips in with him. And I was like, this is really embarrassing, but I have to applaud him. Because he sat there and he ate them. So, yeah, I can get behind that.
Oh no, yeah, I definitely say how the food isn't necessary, but when you're younger and that's how you're spending your day, and it's cool to go out to the cinema with your mates, it's also cool to just buy random food and walk into the film with it.
Yeah.
I remember there was the whole thing, it was kind of up in the air where people would say, the cinemas, you can bring your own food in, it's just the cinema being whatever.
Yeah.
And that seems so weird now. Of course it's the cinema. It's the cinema! You're at the cinema, they make the rules. You wouldn't go into any other place and say, they ask you not to climb on something and be like, it's not actually it's actually the shop that decides you can't climb all over everything.
Yeah.
Like, that's a useful thing to know. I just can't. I think there was like one of those kids shows where they're like breaking down the true, those investigative kids shows.
Short Change.
Yeah, something along those lines.
I love Short Change.
I can't remember Short Change too well.
Really?
Vaguely.
It was like a kids' Watch Dogs.
It was that in the morning on
Dogs,
BBC.
Yeah, it was. What's the other Watch Dogs? But it's about crime. No, not Crime Watch.
Crime Watch.
Oh yeah, Crime Watch is the one there. It is Watch Dogs, isn't it? About shops and things. Yeah.
About people being done.
Kids' version of Crime Watch. There's this bully in this school. Be careful.
Here's a reenactment. Please turn away if you're squeamish.
This kid has stole a Beyblade.
And as you can see, he has pocketed his Beyblade as well as the other kids, despite not winning the match.
If you know anything about this suspect, please do get your parents to ring up.
Where he will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
He's going to jail.
Everyone at school's like, have you heard about the Beyblade thief? It could be any one of us.
Short Change was great. What did they say about cinema then? Yeah,
I think I just remember something like that. Something, that sort of program where they're like, the cinemas can't, it's nothing wrong with you eating in the actual cinema, it's just they stop you and... Yeah, it's something like, are you allowed to eat your own food in the cinema?
Yeah.
It sounds weird even talking about it, but I know that was a thing.
I've never been stopped taking food in the cinema, though. Any cinema I've been in, no, never.
Oh.
I've been stopped for looking underage, but I don't flaunt it, but I kind of hold it behind me and I don't make a big deal of it, and it's fine.
Just like a KFC bargain bucket. Hey, what's that behind you? Nothing,
what's that
just
smell?
My bucket.
It's like I go in with like a trolley full of like a banquet.
Is that a wicked singer?
Out my way, please.
I must dine.
You got one of those like metal tins, like lids that you lift off.
Just a lobster.
Some candles.
Just a little bit of wine. Lovely film today.
There are some cinemas that make a big deal out of a dinner with it.
Oh yeah, you can get those.
So so if you want to do that, then go to those.
I think that's more American though. I don't think there's that many over here.
Yeah, I agree.
But that would be awful though, kind of, wouldn't it? If you're watching a film and you just hear someone just like sawing a bit of chicken or something.
Yeah, I guess so. It's something that I can't really imagine.
They must figure it out. I'm sure they've got it figured out.
Yeah.
But I can't really imagine it.
I'll stick to my Poundland sweets.
Well, I'll stick to my Subway. Anyway, speaking of films...
Yes?
I saw a film.
Did you?
And you saw it too.
Oh, did you see Tomorrowland?
No.
Okay.
I saw Mad Max.
Oh, good.
Fury Road.
Yeah.
And I heard your thoughts about it. You said it was good but weird.
It's good but weird.
You want to elaborate?
It was good but weird, and I think the reason why I found it weird is because I haven't seen the previous films.
I didn't see the previous ones either.
Did you think it was weird?
You
got to admit, it's a little bit weird.
It's a little bit weird.
The man with the holes in his sniffles thing.
Well, that's fine. No,
I don't know. And the big... that's weird to me.
Very old school, I suppose.
And the chains is... Oh, God.
Well, that's how you did, like, a freaky person.
Yeah.
Nowadays, like, it's superheroes, so they're either burnt or they're a robot or whatever. But back then, you just took a person and you just made their legs really tiny or something like that.
So he could be a Bond villain back in the day, pretty much.
Yeah. I would say so.
But and then there's that like little midget guy who's looking through the... Oh.
Yeah, he was a blob. He was a bit of a blob.
Yeah. And I'm not saying these aren't bad by any means. I think it was great. It was just weird.
It was weird, but it set up a unique universe,
exactly.
So it wasn't...
Exactly.
I didn't think it was crazy.
I thought it was quite crazy, but in a good way.
So I really liked it. I mean, it had it all. It had action.
Definitely had that.
And well, that's it. but it did it really well.
Yeah, you can't fault it for that.
Well, after I saw the film, I was thinking, hey, that was critically acclaimed. I really enjoyed it, and it was like a summer blockbuster. So the one that I kind of think of recent years, which was critically acclaimed, really good, and a summer blockbuster, was The Dark Knight. And part of the reason why The Dark Knight was so good is because it was a very smart film, and it actually had some moral questions. And I was like, well, Mad Max doesn't really do any of that. So it's not really a smart film. But then I thought about it some more, and in a way, it is a really smart film. To have a 2-hour film which is just a chase. That's the whole film. And also to have it all set up where you understand what's going on, or what you understand what you need to know to get invested in this big chase without any sort of exposition, without any stopping and being like, this is the future, and like without actually explaining it and just having stuff happen, is actually really clever, and the way it's done. So it achieves this like an amazing pace, whereas a 2-hour films, and it, you know, has slower and quicker parts, but it's just go. Like there's only one kind of part of the film where it's a few scenes of everyone just talking and slowing it down, and that happens like an hour and a half in, when they do the whole "we must stand," you know, then they turn around and the chaser becomes the chasee or whatever.
Right, yeah.
Like that's like the only sort of set of scenes where there's dialogue between the characters talking about motives or whatever. Otherwise, it's just kind of sprinkled in amongst like all the kind of explosions. And that's the thing I was thinking about, where people there's a ton of explosions in this film, and it's all awesome. And then I was like, well, why does Michael Bay get so much, like, you know, why is he dissed so heavily? Mm-hmm. And then I realised that that's because half the time it was Shia LaBeouf talking and a robot talking. And so much of that film is just talking and explaining all this big overall plot in the universe or whatever. And that's just not interesting. But with Mad Max, there's none of it. So you just enjoy what's there. You just enjoy everything. It's all set up. It all just kind of... And it's just awesome. You just kind of strap in and enjoy the ride, I guess. It's the ultimate strap in and enjoy the ride film. And I loved it, really.
Yeah. I thought it was great. I went in not knowing anything, apart from it being, you know, like you say, acclaimed. And it's just a really fun time. And like you say, they kind of matching into that, but it's about they showed and they didn't bother telling. And that's all that was needed, just to show it. And they didn't dumb it down in any way. It was very... It's like one of those things where you do something without trying to use a language, because then it's more people can understand it. That sort of thing where it's kind of on that level where, okay, you don't have to follow it because you can just enjoy it without all the extra details and without all the extra fluff. I mean, that being said, I had questions that weren't answered about certain things, but none of it really bugged me too much. And I get the picture that a lot of it is going to be explained in a sequel anyway.
Sure. But it might
but
not
it doesn't
even
need to be. That's it. It doesn't need to be.
Because, yeah, that's the interesting thing. Like, the main character is Max, although arguably it's the woman.
Furiosa.
Yeah, Furiosa is actually the main character, but it's, you know, it's Mad Max. And obviously this guy has a history, and there's this big universe that has been, or this world that's been built up, and this guy is, like, in there, and, you know, there's a lot of flashes of his past, and it's not spelled out, but you know exactly what's pretty much happened. So you get all these flashes of it, and it like kind of haunts him, but there's no breakdown. Like, he doesn't just break down and say, I can say, hey, I gotta redeem, try and save the world because my world's already destroyed. Like, there's none of that. Like, and it does kind of mean there's no like resolution to any of it. It's just, here's the character, here's the guy. He's a guy just trying to survive. He's got this history, but that's it. That's kind of all it is. And it's kind of quite nice that that's all it was, and that there wasn't anything to it. So yeah, I had questions, but I think the trade-off of them not being answered to just have a joyride of a film is kind of worth it.
Yeah, Yeah, he didn't get bogged down. Although I'm it was all very good. Obviously, we're saying it's great, but I didn't think the ending was particularly great. That's just me. What about you? Didn't think the ending was as I don't know. Seemed like a little bit flat.
I'm assuming you're talking about after the final action stuff.
Yeah, it didn't feel like the end to me.
Right.
I mean, the film was a good length, and it paced very well. It just I think it ended maybe a tiny bit too early. That's the feeling I got from it.
No, I didn't really get that because the moment they left it, you know what's going to happen next.
No.
Well, they're gonna. Don't want to go into spoilers, but you know where that goes. It's rebuilding everything.
Yeah, but I just didn't understand how easy that was going to be.
Well, it's probably going to be hard, but that's not the film. The film isn't the political, like...
Yeah, but it's like the fact that the way they just walked in, and it's okay, let's get building.
Yeah.
That didn't make sense to me.
Well, they had the people behind them. The people decided, hey, the guy's gone, we're now super happy, so we're going to be like, hey. So yeah, obviously it wasn't all going to go smoothly, but that wasn't the film.
I don't know. I just think there was so much. It was stressed a lot about this guy and how people are brainwashed by him. Live, die, live again, that sort of thing. And it's like, oh, okay. No, sin him, done.
Yeah, because they were all free from it.
But what about all the evil guys?
Well, it all just came under his reign, so obviously it wasn't going to go smoothly. But when that guy's gone, and also a lot of the evil guys were killed in the big chase.
Yeah. But
So all the heads of power were gone.
I don't know. I just like to make it perfect for me. I would have wanted just 2 minutes of Furiosa and I don't know the big evil, or even with that little midget guy, the Blob, as you called him.
Right.
Charming. Just
Yes.
a little, just something between them, just to know it's like okay, yeah, that's they're gonna get on with it.
Do you wanna build a house? Yep. Roll the credits.
Even if it was something stupid like that I really do think it would have neatened it up a little bit more.
I disagree. I can't. Like, yeah, it could have been in there, but I think it was so they were heading up. You knew exactly what it was going to be. I don't think it was needed.
Okay.
Well then.
Apart from that, it's great.
Sure.
I mean, just the designs of some of the, we've said about the weird-looking people, but just things you would not imagine.
What were the people still?
And also like the guy with the guitar just bouncing around.
Yeah, that
in
was
front
cool.
Of it's just like, what is that? What even is that?
That definitely made me laugh. Where they kept cutting like a big serious chase, and then you would cut back to the main group, and it's just the guy like
He's had a great time. Yeah.
Like it just kind of showed that the film, you take it seriously to a certain level, but also this is like a crazy place. This ain't your standard desert chase. This is a lot of crazy people.
And there's just everything, every detail. The detail of that film is just immense. I mean, I'd love to see like a still of just a particular frame of, I don't know, maybe the interior of the war truck, whatever it's called.
War rig.
The war rig. Because there's so much crap on that dashboard and all the skulls and things. It's just beautiful. Beautiful. I mean, it's ugly, but it's beautiful in its ugliness.
One other thing that's impressive about the film, and this is something I read that I think the director said, is that apparently it's 90% practical effects. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like it's 90%. So obviously some of it is added in, but most of it was actually there. And I can't even imagine how they did all of that. Like that must have been insane. With all those, because it's all just a chase scene, but to actually shoot all that and put it all together.
See, even amidst all the stuff that was going on screen, I even thought that. I was like, at one point, how the hell did they film this? Everything is moving so damn fast, and it's changing angles so damn quickly. How I'd love to see behind the scenes of that.
Yeah.
That would be really interesting.
Because, yeah, obviously a lot of it would have also just been camera tricks, but so much of it just, oh, God, I don't know how you do it. No clue. And it's nice to watch a film where you're just like, I have no clue how they would have possibly done this. Because everybody, tries to figure out the film. But this is one of those where it's like, wow, if this is practical events, why do I keep saying events? If this is practical effects, that's insane.
Yeah.
And it was. A bit like the Star Wars droid.
Oh, the ball thing.
Yeah, how that's a practical effect.
Yeah.
God. Alright.
Yeah.
Because, you kind of forget, because practical effects were, with Star Wars, the originals, they kind of really took a step forward, and even Jurassic Park. I know there was some CG in that film, but a lot of it was practical.
Mm-hmm.
So they were impressive back then, but then the practical effects took a step back for CGI, and then we had to see CGI develop. But of course, in that time, technology for just everything improved in the last 20 years. So now that there's more of a return to practical effects, everyone's kind of taken back by it and is amazed by it, like us, because you didn't realise that that's what they could do by just physically having it there. But it's been 20 years since it was even a thing, so it's like, of course it's come a lot further forward, but that's what kind of makes it more impressive now, because we're done with CGI, that kind of went as far as it could, and now we're seeing everyone go back into the thing, but putting their full effort into it, and it's like making some really awesome results with films.
I suppose the best bit of praise you could say is that most of the time I didn't even realise it was an effect. It's just happening.
Right.
And you don't even think about it like that. I mean, sometimes, like I said, I was thinking about the camera angles and the speed that it looked like it was going at. But yeah, you just sit back and you just take it in, because it all it's there. It looks like it's real. Really, really good.
Yeah, great film. I don't know if it's doing well, though.
I hope
the Wikipedia page says it's not doing that great, but obviously it's behind in terms of the box office. Obviously the film won't make $1 billion. The Avengers 2 did, but this one won't. But I hope it makes, enough.
I hope, like you say, going back to the podcast, if people like it, then show your support and go see it and tell Hollywood executives that these types of films should be made.
Yeah, because it's...
You have to use money to do that. That's the way.
Yeah, it's definitely probably the most unique summer blockbuster. I can't think of anything else that's going to be as unique as Mad Max was.
I'm not really aware of all films coming out, but yes, I agree. Very different.
Yeah, because I think you mentioned it on your stream as well, where with the Avengers 2, it's not bad, but you do know exactly what it's going to be. And yeah, I definitely got that sense, and I'm definitely getting that sense with most Marvel films, where the thing that really disappointed me about them is that every time you knew what it was going to be, and it's always all right and whatever. But this Mad Max one, you didn't, or I didn't. And even us describing it, you still, got a better sense, but you can still really enjoy it, and it's still unique. But yeah, the Avengers 2 really was a classic example of, oh, it's a summer blockbuster and you know exactly what it is. And that's what it was.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that has in part to do with the person seeing the film, like how much they want to look into it. Like, I could have read up about it or whatever, but I chose not to. But no, for the most part, it's just like you say, it's kind of a bit obvious what's going to happen.
Yeah. That's why Captain America's 2 is so good, because I rewatched that as well recently, where it's yeah, it is definitely a Marvel film, no arguments there, but it has a few twists in there. It's not like the Avengers where... Yeah, it's not like the Avengers. It's not that it takes risks, it's just not... there is unexpected stuff in there, which is very pleasant and surprising and nice to have in a Marvel film. Because, of course, the Avengers 2 didn't have any sort of twists or revelations. It's just stuff happens and there's a bad guy and oh no, and that's about it.
Yep. Still need to see that.
It's good.
Someone
it's
at
really
work
good.
said they were going to lend me the DVD and they still haven't.
Oh, yeah.
They forgot.
Nice.
Damn them.
Cool. Right, okay, so the next thing that we're going to talk about, it's a bit delayed, but I feel like it would be wrong if we didn't.
This better be what I think it is.
And that's Harry Shearer
You're goddamn right it is.
has left The Simpsons. Is this confirmed?
No. I
Well
hope
then.
not. I haven't heard it being confirmed. I think they're probably still talking.
I've heard it's pretty much, yeah, he's left, but it just got... You know, the story got very messy instantly with the way the internet kind of works and everyone reporting it, that the initial news was, yeah, this is definitely happening, and then it's like, well, maybe not, and then maybe it is, and... So I think it pretty much is happening, but we've got no time frame or... We've got no real information, but yeah, it does look like he's gone. And of course, old Harry played Mr. Burns, Smithers, Flanders, Skinner?
Yeah.
And a few others, but those were the main ones.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I don't know what really needs to be said, because, yeah, it definitely won't be the same show without him. But at the very same time, he didn't sound the same anyways.
Yeah. How many of them do, I suppose? Yeah.
Yeah, I think... Oh, I'm trying to think. Marge is definitely different. I think out of the main family, I want to say... I don't know. Marge is definitely the most different out of the family.
I can't really... I haven't listened to a new episode in a while, so... But yeah, Marge definitely sounds just more tired.
just
done. Yeah.
Homie.
She's a zombie now. Marge is a zombie.
Subtle casting there.
Yeah, Julia Cavan has actually died.
Oh.
No, that's not. No.
Oh dear.
But
yeah, I think because first 3 seasons they all sound different from what they did a few seasons afterwards anyway. So if we say go from season 4 onwards, I think Homer definitely changed. I don't know, this isn't interesting. I'm just trying to think out loud. But yeah, definitely, Moe doesn't sound the same. Flanders definitely doesn't sound the same. Mr. Burns doesn't sound the same. Marge doesn't sound the same. So when you got like Harry Shearer leaving, it's like, yeah, it sucks, and obviously it's one more chip like falling off the show, one more
nail in the coffin.
Yeah, the old nail in the coffin there. It's definitely one of those, but it's kind of like, well, the show's already not very good anymore. And if the guy doesn't really sound the same, then whatever. I don't think much has really changed.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. And whatever I say now, I'm going to repeat in one of my episodes, so whatever.
Whatever.
This is very interesting for 2 reasons. Number 1, the fact it's happened quite a lot through Twitter. Now, there's probably been some talks between lawyers and whatever, and people representatives, but the fact that it is aired publicly is probably a bad thing. Really, we shouldn't have seen any of this crap if we're dealing with utter professional sort of things. And when I see, because Al Jean is the showrunner still of the show,
Ugh.
and you say and yeah, okay,
I do.
He's not probably been there too long, but I tweeted this, and because I was looking at his profile on Twitter and all the things, and you got to appreciate the fact he actually is replying to people about this. Now it is out, it's almost like their obligation to address it, and not, well, maybe not obligation, but it would be really annoying if this came out and then there was suddenly nothing. So at least he's replying to people saying, we've asked him, he's not come back, and we haven't heard anything from him, blah, blah, blah. And he's confirmed that they would look for other voice actors to replace him. They wouldn't get rid of the characters. And I don't know, I kind of feel like he's earned a bit more of my respect because of the way he's dealt with this on Twitter, which I think is good. Don't know if you've seen any of that stuff.
No, not really.
Okay.
Although one thing I will add is that what I heard, the reason for him leaving is that he wanted to work on this other show in particular. I can't remember exactly what it's going to be. I want to say maybe it was a British show.
He is in Britain, yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to work on a British show, and apparently his contract with The Simpsons wouldn't allow that. He tried to make it happen, they said no, so he said, right, well, I'm going then.
Yeah.
And that's where the breakdown kind of happened, which is probably why it got to Twitter so quickly, because it was just him negotiating. He probably felt like The Simpsons had kind of screwed him over, when really I don't think there would be any problem with him doing another show, especially because he's a voiceover actor. I can't imagine it's as important. So he probably, because while in the middle of this negotiation, anyone, or when you're in like a business negotiation like that, you can just tweet it, and that's done, and that's out there, and that took 2 minutes. So I'm not sure exactly what the tweet was that started all this. I don't think it was a direct "screw you guys, I'm gone."
Yeah, it was more like a passive-aggressive sort of, thank you for your time on the show, but I'll no longer be a part of it, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So you're right. It really shouldn't have come out like this. And
the thing that's funny is now it's like a playground he said, she said thing. Because it really is like, I saw this really cringy exchange first of all, it was between this one guy on Twitter and Harry Shearer, and this guy on Twitter saying, why are you leaving The Simpsons for, and then he said like, oh, you should have, did you try and write any episodes of the show? I think you'd be really good at writing them. And Harry Shearer said something like, I tried, they didn't let me. And so this guy, upon hearing that, then tweeted to Al Jean and said, hey, Harry said he wanted to write a show, but you said no. Would you let him? And then Al Jean says, yeah, I mean, if that makes him come back, then sure. And then so the guy goes back to Harry Shearer and says, yeah, so Al Jean's just said that you can. Are you going to go back to the show now? And then the one cringy tweet was, he put something like, looks like I'm talking for you two guys now. like he's part of the whole thing. But to see that on Twitter is so weird.
That is bizarre.
Isn't it? That is so weird.
Because it's like you can add people to a conversation without their permission.
Yeah.
And then they have to, they react to it. So people who haven't talked in years or don't like each other or anything like that will just be roped into something because they've been mentioned. And then, it adds some sort of, interaction. And it's just weird. It's weird that can happen on that scale.
The other thing, I know we'll probably end the podcast soon, but the other thing about Harry Shearer leaving, and if they do keep the characters, which they said they will, and they'll just get a different voice actor. When I typed in about this news on Google, one of the top hits was this guy had made a video on YouTube doing impressions, and everyone was like, oh, look, this could be the guys who replace Harry Shearer. That's all what the headlines were saying. I watched his video. I mean, it's beside the point, but his impressions were terrible. I was really, really surprised that he was being linked so much. I'll have to show you after the podcast. It was really bad. But here's the thing with them getting another voice actor. It can't just be someone that sounds like Harry Shearer's voices. Well, it could be, actually. I'm gonna disagree with myself. It could be, but the good thing about Harry Shearer is that he is a comedian. He knows timing and how to be funny. He was in Spinal Tap, I think, wasn't he?
Yeah, that sounds right.
So yeah, he's an actor basically. He knows comedy, and if you're looking for someone that just has the same voice, you might not get that element of it. And I'm saying the reason why I disagree with myself is because does that really matter in the show now? Probably not. Probably just
not
regurgitate
anymore,
regurgitate the lines and be done with it. But in the past, that would have been an issue.
Well, it's especially with Harry Shearer, because he does Mr. Burns and Smithers, and from what I've heard, he would just be in a room talking to himself as these two characters. So obviously the chemistry between those two came from him and directly came from him. So to get someone to try and replace that is just, you can't do it.
It's pretty damn difficult.
Yeah. And whoever replaces him is in a super bad spot, because if they try and sound like the old ones, then people are going to be like, well, that doesn't sound like them. And if they try to sound like the new ones, then people are going to say, well, that doesn't sound like them. So they've got like 25 years or whatever it is, I think more than that now, 26 years of these characters, and they have to try and emulate those characters. But it's like, what, do you just take over where Harry Shearer left off? Do you go back to a certain time, or what? Because either way, people are going to be like, well, I know they're a different voice actor, and that doesn't sound right to me. So they're just screwed. Because if they try and do the new voices, it won't sound right to most people. Mm-hmm. And people will know it's different, so they'll be annoyed. So it's rock and a hard place for whoever does replace him.
It is a really messy situation, and you can see why they're so adamant to get back. I mean, I don't think they can offer him... Everyone was bringing up money. I don't know whether it is money. Probably not. But, yeah, they're definitely going to try, aren't they?
Mm.
Playing hardball, though.
Well, they had the big pay cuts a few years ago.
Yeah.
So they had that whole big, thing. But it's one of those things where the show isn't that popular, but it's good to keep having new episodes. But, of course, it's not as profitable as it was. So they can't pay them a lot of money. Well, they still get paid a lot of money.
I think it was. I think the contracts were 14 million for two series.
I would think.
Sorry.
Well, is that overall or is that complete for one actor?
For one actor.
Oh wow.
Yeah. That's what all the headlines were. Harry Shearer stepping away from $14 million deal. Whether that money, that might even be the right amount, but I think it's a ballpark figure.
Oh yeah, well, it'd be a lot, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just can't. They can't afford it anymore. But I think people get excited, or I kind of did in a way, about the idea of now he left, can the show just finish?
Definitely.
Will the show finish?
Yeah.
But I don't know if it actually will.
It's something that's actually happening with The Simpsons. It's a piece of news that's not just about a guest star or something. It's actually changing the show, which is always interesting.
Yeah, it's the most interesting thing since the film, I would say.
Yeah, I'd say so. Mm-hmm.
But oh well. We don't watch the new ones anyway, so...
Whatever, he can go. He can walk away with his millions and do whatever he wants.
Why don't you retire, you rich old man?
Carry on playing Richard Nixon.
Yeah, you are. Bloody Shearer.
Damn him.
All the rage.
Yeah.
Right, so coming to the end, I would say, of another fantastic episode.
Quite.
Am I allowed to say that? Is that okay?
Yeah.
I thought it was fantastic, as always.
Are you going to tell me this thing about the pizza or not?
No. I have to apologise for not being here last week.
No, you don't.
My throat was killing me, and I couldn't... I tried to record the LPs that I'm doing, and I couldn't get through like 15-20 minutes without having a coughing fit, so I thought I had no chance doing an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So I just kind of had to... Which sucks, because there's been a lot of missed weeks, but it's never my fault. I swear. I'm always busy or ill, but I want to get back to some sort of consistency.
You should get a guest in at some point.
Nah, I don't think so.
Yeah, you should.
Well, the only reason I haven't is because I've been all over the place recently.
Well, stop being all over the place.
Well, I'll try. Thanks for the advice.
That's what I'm here for.
Joe.
Right? That's what I'm here for. Wise old Joe.
Wise old Joe. You've come a long way from being simple Joe.
Simple racist Joe.
Simple. Oh, you damn Italians. I know what you're like.
Now I'm wise old Joe.
You're like, you damn Italians. That's my old man
voice. I'm not that old yet.
Oh, right.
I'm just mature. Wise, mature Joe.
Oh, well, that sounds grim.
No. Go back to old then.
Right, so anyway, what's going on with your channel? Or what has been going on?
Red Faction. Krusty.
Hey.
Minecraft. Stream.
Red Krusty Minecraft. That's all I heard.
I love that Red Krusty Minecraft.
Ah.
Yeah, that's about it though.
Cool.
Yes.
Mine's Sonic, Spec, and reviews.
Oh yeah, Spec Ops.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, like yeah, pretty much with that game is that I do really like first-person shooters. You know, I talk about it from time to time, but I do like and play console FPSs. I know they're not cool or, you know, the hipsters like the PC ones, but I do like console shooters. So this is one that I just never played, but it came out like 2011 or something like that and was meant to be really good, but just got overshadowed because of how many shooters were out at that time. So I just thought, you know what, I do shooters, but not that many. If I'm going to do one, I might as well do one that's meant to be really good and one that I just haven't played. Because it's nice to do an LP where I'm in the same boat as the people watching, where they haven't seen the game, I'm presuming, and I haven't seen the game, so I'm just playing it and we're both just going through it.
Going through the motions. Audience.
Yeah, like it's a completely different dynamic to I really love this game, so here's me playing it and this is what this game is. Instead it's, what the hell is this game? Let's play it and find out. It's a completely different dynamic, but one that's, you know, relies a lot more on just reacting to it, but it's my genuine reactions to it because I haven't played it before, so I think I've done, you know, blind LPs before, but this one's a little different because it really is, I have no idea. Bit like Mad Max. It's like I know it's meant to be good, so I'm playing it, and that's that.
And are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm only like 3 parts in, so it's kind of hard to say. Like, you wouldn't, you know, if you played a game for an hour, you couldn't say, oh, this is what this game's about.
I do that all the time.
Oh, right.
That's what this whole podcast has been documenting.
A little bit, yeah. You get all you need to know.
Oh man, I haven't played Batman though. Batman is such a great game.
Can't believe you skipped Asylum.
No, yeah, screw that crap. City is great.
It's better.
I just did these things called Demon Trials. Oh my god. Crazy.
Madness.
Crazy fun. Yeah, anyway, sorry. Go back.
Asylum's better though. But you won't miss Asylum when you play City.
No. I don't miss a thing.
Well, that's good.
I'm just enjoying it.
But yeah, so Spec Ops The Line.
Yep.
So obviously, I don't think many people are going to watch because most of LPing is watching games you've already played or you're just really interested in.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's not annoying. That's just how it is.
Yeah, it is.
I watch LPs. I'm the same. But so it'll be interesting to see. But the game's only a few hours, so it is something a bit different. And seeing how the other game is Sonic Unleashed, it's nice to do something I want to do.
Why do you let these people control you, Tom?
I don't know why I don't remember it being this bad. It's really terrible.
Oh, good. If it's any consolation, I'm now finding Krusty's Funhouse rather difficult.
Well,
it's getting very difficult very quickly, which does not bode well for the future.
Oh yeah. Your first unfinished LP.
I have thought that thought has come across my mind.
Nope,
Yes.
you got to do it.
That's the wonder of post commentary, though.
Awesome. Yeah, that is different for you. I thought the interesting thing about your post commentary is that it's not different at all.
What do you mean?
It's exactly the same as your live commentary.
Yeah, kind of.
Like you're still
Should
talking.
Should it be different?
I personally have found it different when I've done it.
In what way?
Because when it's posed, you just pick out the things that you want to talk about, but you talk on a more general sense and just kind of go with it, which you're doing But because you usually pick out topics to talk about anyway, it's still very similar.
Well, that's good. That's good to hear. Thank you, Tom.
That's okay. Because you still talk about everything that's going on screen. That's the thing I find funny. Like, these are the pipes. You can put a pipe down and they go through the pipe. It's like, well...
People won't understand the pipes, Tom. I must explain the pipes.
You can just talk about, like, it's a Simpsons game. You can just talk about what episode you like if you want.
I think when I'm spending ages doing one episode and I think I end up having to talk about some sort of crap.
And also, it also keeps you level-headed as well, post-commentary. You don't get
really
sucked
difficult.
into the emotions.
That's true, though, yes.
Which is good and bad.
I must admit, though, I'm finding it very difficult to do post-commentary.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, stumbling over words a lot more, and then missing something on screen. Like you just say, I talk about stuff on screen still, but so maybe I should stop doing that. But I find it really difficult.
Oh, no, you got to get used to it. You just, like, you go into a level, you'll be like, this is what this level is, and here's some other stuff. Yeah. This is the pipe level.
I'll keep that in mind.
Because, well, I started off with post-commentary, so I always was post-commentary, and it was actually a bit of a change for me to do it live.
Mm-hmm. Doing it live.
We're doing it live, people. That's why I shouted at the studio.
Yeah.
As I was recording Spider-Man DS footage, it's like, oh, I'm no good at this. Okay, we're doing it live.
There are no words on there. What does it say? We're doing it live.
Doing it live. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I delayed the end of the podcast there.
No, that's fine. That's the way it goes.
It really is.
Yeah, because I'll delay it some more, because I remember when I was doing Twilight Princess, how I did all that live. But then there was one episode that messed up. So I thought, well, I won't... It was like episode 60 something. So I was like, well, I don't want to really go back and, re-record it. And it was a pain to. So I just edited the footage I had. Took about 5 minutes out of unnecessary stuff and then just talked over it. And I had a really good time going back to post-commentary. Because it's a bit more relaxed, you just kind of talk about whatever. If you run out of stuff to talk about, you can rely on what's on screen, but it's more of just hanging out. Less pressure, I found. But then, of course, with live commentary, you got to try and play and talk at the same time, and I just felt it was a bit more pressure to it.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it... I don't know what I could say about it, really. I need to do more post-commentary before I can say something, but I think I will like it more.
I think so.
As I do it more.
I mean, live commentary ultimately is better, but post-commentary can be really useful for certain games.
Mm-hmm. Like very difficult ones that require lots of editing.
Yeah.
Like Bloody Krusty's Funhouse.
Yeah. Definitely.
Wish me luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
So anyway, Joe, thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you're too kind.
Oh, no.
Oh,
no
you.
Props. Oh, you.
Do you come with the car?
I can't do those.
No, I can't go that high this time.
I can't go that high.
We'll leave that.
Anyway, we will see you next week, and that's a promise.